Hello and welcome to the program. My name is Lasha Kingsley in Douala, Cameroon. Today on the agenda we shall be talking conflicts, and precisely on this program today the conflict we'll be talking about is internal conflicts within political parties in Cameroon. We shall equally be looking at the conflict in the northwest and the southwest regions of Cameroon. We are glad to have a sociologist. He is equally the leader of a political party in Cameroon. You shall be discovering as the program unfolds. I will be right back. Reverend Professor Tita, welcome to the agenda.
Thank you very much.
We are glad you honor our invitation. We must say we are grateful because you are coming all the way from the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, and this is the first time we are having you on the program. Can you briefly introduce yourself to the million televiewers who are watching us at this time?
I had to because I found it necessary. And that's why I'm here. And I am actually Reverend Professor Tita the National Chairman of Cameroon People's Party and the founder. I'm a sociologist, a political sociologist in particular. And I have taught throughout my life a lot of classes in universities out of Cameroon. And I am still at the moment a visiting lecturer in some other universities. And I go about politicking in Cameroon and teaching politics out of Cameroon.
You just said in your introduction that you are the founder of the Cameroon's People political party. Sir, can you help me understand how the functioning of your political party? How is your leader chosen?
It is so democratic, and we cannot say that CPP is out of democracy. CPP is not running the party undemocratically. We are democratic, which means the party selects the leaders. And when we formed the party in 1991, I just came back from Switzerland then, and we had to form that party because I came trying to condemn what people were practicing in the name of multi-party in democracy. Then people say, well, if you think you know better, why don't you form one? I say, I'm going to form one. And that's how CPP came about. We formed it in 1991, and I was the founder. And during our first meeting for our first application to be sent to the Ministry of Territorial Administration, I was elected the president.
That was in May 1991?
That was in August 1991, I think so.
Okay.
1991. I was elected the national chairman and the founder. That's how it came about. Then along the line, we kept politicking, and it got into my head that the Cameroon woman should be encouraged for us to see a difference in politics. Then I saw a lady who was being thrown out of SDF. I bought her courage as a woman in politics. I invited her into CPP. And when she came into CPP, we restructured the party again.
How did she come in? Was it through your recommendation that
No.
she should come in, or through a convention? Was it through a convention?
I actually invited her in. She came, and during our convention, she was appointed the president of the National Council.
Yes.
And again, because I wanted to encourage women, I allowed her to stand as a presidential candidate for that period. Or we, I shouldn't say I, we allowed her to encourage women. In fact, I was fighting for what I introduced to people as gynecocracy, government of the women.
Yes.
So that we can see whether we can try a woman to see where she can get to. And we thought she was really going to get somewhere, because women in Cameroon are more than men all over the world, not only Cameroon. So we thought women can study something through her and come out for a good fight. So we made her the president of the National Council.
Not the president of
the party.
The party.
Yes, of a wing of the party.
Yes.
Because the party has the secretariat, and it has the National Council, and it has the convention, or what you may call a congress. Now, above them all is the national chairman,
which you happen to be.
I am the one. And during the election of
2011,
by the very exercise that we held there, I was given veto powers. I have a right to veto things in the party that are not moving well. Any organ of the party that is not well organized, I have a right to draw their attention to certain things that are not functioning well. Certain things that are not functioning well, I draw their attention to it. So, again, I remain the national chairman by the powers that were given to me, conferred on me for life. Others might join me later, but for now, I am the only one. So I can veto anything in the party that's not moving well. Any wing of the party that's not functioning well, I have a right to veto it.
Through a convention or unilateral?
No. I just call, I have a right to call the convention.
Yes.
And when the convention sits and the situations are not proper, I veto it. And when I veto it, it goes to election. And again, my single vote counts.
So what position was the woman you're talking about, Mrs. Edith Kawala, holding between 2011 and 2018 when you dismissed her from the party?
She was in charge of the National Council, which was the wing, the organ to run the party. So she was the president of the National Council. But by our resolution, the National Council does not sit when I'm not present. And my single vote in the National Council counts. I have an extra vote in the National Council. So that is exactly what she was supposed to be doing. But when she could not even organize a convention, and if she did organize one, it was secretly done somewhere that I don't know, I was forced to call for a national council, the convention rather. I called for a national convention, which she refused to attend. And as she refused to attend, in that convention, we saw the party sinking. We decided to do what? to suspend the National Council. The National Council was suspended, and an organ for restructuring of the party in preparation for 2018 election was mounted.
Yes. With Kawala excluded.
She was given room to come in. That's why they called the second meeting, and she still refused to come. She was dismissed.
So how did the Ministry of Territorial Administration came into this? Is it the position or the place of the Ministry of Territorial Administration to resolve an internal conflict within your party? Is that what your constitution says?
I don't see where the fingers are being pointed at the Ministry of Territorial Administration. We took a decision and informed the Minister of Territorial Administration.
So I'm saying, so if you permit me, by 2018, you wrote that Kawala was dismissed from your party, and the Minister of Territorial, or the Ministry of Territorial Administration legalized your party. Does it mean that from 1991 to 2018, your party was functioning illegally? Many people want to understand this.
Maybe people did not understand what I meant by that. What I meant was she was dismissed
by the Ministry of Territorial Administration, and you were appointed.
No. She was dismissed by us from a party that is actually legalized by Ministry of Territorial Administration in Cameroon.
So when was your party legalized?
1991.
So, but you wrote that your party was legalized in 2018 by the ministry.
I said she was dismissed in 2018 by a legalized political party. The CPP is a legalized political party. She was dismissed in 2018. I don't know whether you're getting me clear. She was dismissed May 18th. She came into the party 2011, and the party was legalized in 1991, December. And she came in 20 years after the party was legalized. After the party had been functioning for 20 years, that's when she came in. And in 2018, she was dismissed. She was suspended early 2018, asking her to behave, which she did not. As she did not, she continued being stubborn. We called for another meeting, maybe to ask her behave well, may come down to her reasoning and behave well. But she refused attending that very meeting, and she was dismissed. That was all.
So what is your bone of contention with this powerful woman you wanted to give opportunity to? So where is the conflict coming from?
You see, there is a thing. You can, from a point, you can look at somebody to be powerful. But when the person gets to the terrain, the football field, you may just find out that he's not powerful enough. So I know that most of the people who claim to be powerful in Cameroon are noisemakers. They don't finally get to anywhere that can save this country. Take all of them from whoever. They make some noise. They insult. They want to say, look, you have what in your eyes, not even knowing what they also have in their own eyes. They've not bothered to know what they have in their own eyes. They want to remove yours, or that of A or that of B. So what I'm trying to say here is that there are some of them seem to be powerful, but they are not. I look at them just as noisemakers.
So who is in charge of CPP?
I am. I remain the founder and the national chairman as of now, till in the nearest future, where I may decide.
Somebody is still giving out statements in the name of CPP.
You see, let dogs bark as the caravans are moving. What makes you come in? Come in and talk. Because I am talking of CPP in 1991. And you are talking of CPP that you started, you came into it in 2011.
But he was elected according to their constitution.
Yes.
The convention, national convention,
And
which means that you lost your legitimacy.
No.
As of that convention,
No.
which held in 2011.
Well, I was present, and that's where I had extra powers. And that's where I was made the only national chairman for life. Somebody should come and doubt that. And again, I am the only person by the resolution you are talking about who has one extra vote, veto power. So I wonder if she who is talking has any. And again, all the documents of the party are in my keeping. What are you talking about? What's she talking about? She is a woman I wanted the party to use. But if you come into the party to go insulting people, ganging up with noisemakers, I look at them as noisemakers. Because from the word go, nobody should be angry with me. From the word go, I told my good friends in SDF that politics is not noise making. Politics is not insulting people. Politics is going out and see how much you can do to bring down and while you climb. But when you cannot bring down and somebody's up there and you are making noise under his feet, you are more of an idiot.
You are more of an idiot. Prof, let's now talk about what is happening in the northwest and southwest region of the country. I'm talking about the Anglophone crisis. How did we get to this level?
Many people blame me when I say, when I turn around and I say it's not a crisis as people should look at it. I look at it just as some little squabble. Look at it as a little squabble that can be handled if people want to handle it. But because it is a little squabble in the house and you want the white man to be involved, the white man has his arms to sell. He wants to sell his arms. He has his interest to protect. But I look at it as a little squabble that we can handle it here. But since people push it to the white man, and the white man has his interest to protect, it is getting up to a civil war presently. But from the word go, it's a little squabble that would have been trashed.
So why is it not being trashed?
Because some of us have our interest connected to the diaspora. And there's nobody in the diaspora who has the interest of those at home. They have their interest first. What am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say that look at when the problem started. As far back as the 80s. There's some people who go about blaming teachers, blaming the lawyers, but the matter started as far back as 80s.
With who?
A lot of Anglophones in the diaspora. No, Anglophones and the diaspora, I'm sorry. A lot of Anglophones and the diaspora. And that's why you saw what came up. They called it CAMEROON Anglophone Movement. From CAMEROON Anglophone Movement, there was what came up, All Anglophone
General Conference.
From All Anglophone Conference came the NCNC. But before CAM even came up, there was Ambazonia, the far 80s. And what was Ambazonia all for? The very story. And this is where today I am still laying the emphasis that during the dialogue, the government should the government of Cameroon should allow some knowledgeable people to sit down and find out, X-ray, what really brought about the idea of the set formations of some, let me say, groups that are today appearing as secessionists, right? What I mean here is, you have AAC. They had grudges. Anglophone movement, Cameroon Anglophone movement, had grudges. All those formations had grudges. I should not go bothering myself to name them. They had grudges. Should we not trace their grudges and tell them, you were right here, you were wrong here, you were right here, you were wrong here? If we do that, it may be this little thing will stop. Because there are some people in it now who do not even know why they are in the bushes. They don't know.
No, they believe in independence.
That's what it is. And that independence...
So they are fighting for the restoration of the former British Southern Cameroon.
That ever existed where?
Their states.
It existed where? The Southern Cameroon state existed where? And when?
They gained independence by joining La République du Cameroon.
Did you? Is that what they said?
That's what most of them are
Look,
saying.
One thing I keep telling people is that, from what I know, we left Nigeria and came back to Boya as West Cameroon and East Cameroon. West Cameroon and East Cameroon. We left Nigeria when Nigeria had their own independence. Deep in my mind, or in my brain, we did not gain any independence. We only left and said we were coming to join our brothers, just like the other ones in the north, the north of Mambila there. Mambila went and they joined Nigeria. There was no question of independence there. Because I said, if there was a question of independence, there would have been a national flag, coat of arms, national anthem. Then you come and just oppose the two. You place them, and then you say, well, two have come to join. But if you just came out that you are joining your brother had an anthem, had a coat of arms, had a national anthem, what those things, what independent means. All those things, an anthem. We left with what anthem? What coat of arms? I mean, those are the type of things I say I judge from my own understanding.
Yes, Prof. You've been quoted as blaming some of Cameroon's troubles on multipartism. What do you mean by saying so?
Cameroon, in the Cameroon of Ahidjo was more of a monarch.
Yes.
There was nothing democratic in monarchy, and there's still nothing democratic in monarchy. So Ahidjo was a monarch. For one reason or the other, he could not continue with his monarchy. And a more better Democrat was selected. And he is Paul Biya. He was selected. The problem that Paul Biya had is monarchy, that he had to polish it out, was still a problem. As he was struggling to polish monarchy, there was a mixture between monarchy and democracy that the people of the formation of multipartism came in with anarchy.
And who are those people you are talking about?
The young formations that came up, or in the name of multipartism in Cameroon. It is what has been able to bring in a lot of anarchy, which is in place today. And if you watch, we can, from the surface, say Cameroon is democratic because we're fighting to make it democratic. But in reality, we are still fighting the monarchy that has come over democracy that Paul Biya had to establish, and monarchy that he had to neutralize. As he was struggling to neutralize monarchy, struggling to establish democracy, anarchy had to go in. And that's why you find the whole place is in a turmoil, a state of lack of control, a state of lack of total control. But I bet you he is trying. Because democracy is a phenomenon that you cannot beat cheaply. If not, the anarchy in place would have beaten democracy hands down. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. Yes. That's why I say he's trying. And that's why you see most of us in the state of anarchy, in the state of anarchy, are rushing to say that we want to create a different state.
Are you saying that what the people are clamoring for is unfounded?
I strongly say, from my deep understanding,
because you were there when everything started.
From my deep understanding, it has no weight. From my deep understanding, it has no weight. I said this long ago, even in the 1990s, because no matter what is happening today, don't think it is a matter of today, started in the 90s. And I declared that it has no weight. That's what I know, deep in me. It has no weight.
So what is the way forward?
The way forward is very simple. If you have hair, this hair as clean as it is, and you one day see that you are scratching it, know that something strange has entered that hair. Something foreign has entered that hair. And the only thing to do is to shave it. Cut that hair and wash it clean.
Can you contextualize what you've just said?
Again, if you have bed box on your bed, right? Know that the bed is dirty. Pour some water and throw on the bed and soak all the beddings into the hot water. The whole thing will come to an end. I don't know what they want me to say something new.
If I understand you
well, stop scratching your head and say, my head is scratching me. Look, just get a pair of scissors, shave it, wash it clean, and oil it, you'll be fine.
Despite the huge efforts made so far by the government of Cameroon, like, the Major National Dialogue Translation or other Business Act, the creation of the common law section at Enam in Yaoundé, and the appointment of a first ever Anglophone to be at the administrative bench of the Supreme Court, if I get my facts correctly, not still bringing the conflict to an end.
Mr. Journalist,
in your own opinion, what should be done by the President of the Republic and Cameroonians?
Mr. Journalist, there's something very clear. Those things have nothing to do with the problem. I have said this and I've said it repeatedly. And that's why I said teachers should not be held responsible. Lawyers should not be held responsible. Formation of this, that, and that is not what caused the problem. The problem started from little grudges nursed by some people and they were supported, and they are supported, they were supported, and they are supported by some warmongers for their own interests, not for the interest of this nation. This is my understanding. And that's why they are still saying that a pound of flesh was the promise and it must be sacrificed. The diaspora is still saying that a pound of flesh was the promise and it must be sacrificed. And that's why the struggle is still there. We either let go the pound of flesh, or if we maintain that this pound of flesh belongs to Cameroon, we stand and get hold of it. In Bamenda, I clearly told the prime ministers that the gizzard belongs to you, but it is in a fowl. And if you want the gizzard, slaughter that fowl, remove your gizzard. Again, I told the prime ministers when they came there, I told them that, look, a pound of flesh that is needed belongs to Cameroonians. And if Cameroonians want to maintain the pound of flesh, they must come out and fight for it. It's their pound of flesh. It does not belong to the people in the diaspora. My gizzard does not belong to the fowl, it's my gizzard. So if I want that gizzard, I slaughter the fowl.
Yes, Prof. In one of your write-ups, you equally said that the current situation that we have now, the Bameli case and some Anglophone politicians who bore grudges or who are still bearing grudges of the Ahidjo administration and that of President Paul Biya are the ones who are responsible for what is happening in Cameroon. Those Bameli cases you are talking about and the Anglophones, is it not gross exaggeration?
Is it not what?
Gross exaggeration to say Anglophone politicians and some Bameli case. You generalize everything, say Anglophone politicians and some Bameli case.
Yeah.
Who are bearing grudges against the Ahidjo administration,
yeah,
are the sole, cause of what is happening in Cameroon today.
Yeah. I stand by that. And go and investigate. You still see that the situation from 1991 was found by the Bamlikis because they had the money. And if you don't doubt it, terrorism in Cameroon started nursing as far back as 1991. Or 90s, let me just put it that. And the Bamlikis came and found it up. But what they found it up for, they never saw the interest, and that's why they withdrew. They didn't see it materializing, that's what I mean. That's why they withdrew.
You should be talking about the SDF. Most of them gave their support for the SDF.
Well, if you want to carry from there, if not, I should, but that's the first you can count. That's the first you can count.
Because the SDF was born in the 90s.
I say
and the Bamlikis gave their support to the SDF. So you are terming SDF a terrorist organization?
Oh, deep in my mind, I have never seen them different from what is happening now. And I've asked many, what is happening today that did not happen in the 1990s and the 2000s? I lost a car. I lost a lot of things in Bamenda. Was it Ambazonia then? I can quite remember that many rich people in the 1990s and 2000s became poor today because of the political situation that was on the terrain. Was it Ambazonia? Ambazonia have just come up to pick another name to get to where they are going to. Ambazonia started as far back as the 80s. But because it had no way, anyway. But today that people have turned the files, as I'm holding this one, holding this file here, then they can just pick the name, from that file. I say, let's use this name. All right. But I still stand that they are the very people in different forms, out for the same havoc. not that which will build the unity of this country, not that which will provide peace for this country. And I stand by that.
You equally member of G20, you gave your support to the President of the Republic during the 2018 presidential elections in Cameroon. Prof, I want you to tell our televiewers sincerely if the major national dialogue which held in Yaoundé was broad-based.
The dialogue that was held in Yaoundé, after it, I wrote, and it is in various medias, that the head of state should immediately call for another senior dialogue of a few persons to x-ray the grudges of the Anglophones, because that is where the problem is. Now, when something came up like that, I was happy. A group came up that went to the Anglophone zone. I was happy. But it has ended up that the real grudges that caused the formation of certain vicious groups, I call them vicious groups, were not x-rayed. And it is possible that we can discover the problems if this viciousness is x-rayed. The viciousness is x-rayed. We maybe discover the treatment. But my problem is that we go there and talk of different things, talk of bringing people from the bush and to cater for them. What first took them into the bushes? And some of them in the bushes do not even know why they are there. Like you have put it here, the someone said they are expecting a state. The state will come from where? United Nations will not give them. African Union will not give them. How are they going to get it forcefully? Okay, then they should be prepared.
But that's what they are already doing.
Okay.
They are carrying arms.
Now, then guns. You carry then guns and you carry arms. Then for you to carry then guns, come and sit down and x-ray the problem. You can find a simple solution to it than carrying then guns and disturbing people. Because those guns there, to me, are not guns that can fight a conventional war. A conventional war, to meet or to confront a conventional army, as you put it. They cannot.
So what do the people need now to get out of the bushes? Is it education? What do they need?
Important thing is...
During off-camera conversation, you told me about ignorance. So what is the ignorance you're talking about?
The problem is you have not asked a very pertinent question, and I'm still repeating it. That educate your child. And if that child refuses to take your education and will not want you to sleep, pinch that child. Don't slap. Don't hit, but pinch. When the child will cry more and sleep, you will also sleep. Then by the time the child gets up, maybe the problem is forgotten, or you too must have thought of a solution.
Right.
Good. You must have thought of a better solution. But now that they will take soldiers with conventional weapons to go and meet idiots in the bushes with den guns, I don't see the rationale in that. But one thing is clear. He who is not with you is your enemy, or is against you. He who is not with you is against you. And he who is against you is your enemy. And he who is your enemy, don't take him lightly.
You crush him.
Think better. If you think that is the best solution, think better.
You may want to agree with me that war of ideologies are very difficult to be crushed with a conventional army.
What is ideology?
The moment you kill one Amber, for example, there is another young Amber who is born. with the same ideology, seeing you
No, we
killing
didn't say they should be killed. I didn't say they should kill them. No, because I am a member myself.
That's interesting. It sounds interesting.
I'm a member myself, so I will not say that they should be killed. What I've said is that we don't hit, pinch. The child will feel the pains non-stop. And stop and cry, and they stop. And not stopping because he wants to stop, but he's tired of crying. Then you can also have your own rest. Then by the time you're having your rest, you think. You might have been taken unaware by that child. You might have been taken unaware by that child. So, do one thing rational enough. Rational enough in order to have your own peace of mind.
The other president of your party called for a boycott of the municipal and legislative elections. I'm talking of Madam Kawala. And seemingly, you didn't take part in the legislative and municipal elections. So what is your own appraisal of the conduct, the general conduct of the elections which just took place?
When you say,
I'm talking about the Northwest and Southwest.
When you say I didn't take part,
you didn't see any CPP.
It's wrong. I was in the field, my party was in the field campaigning for presidential majority and G20. Therefore, we participated. If Kawala with her up Cameroon or down Cameroon, because she has something I know to be up Cameroon, down Cameroon. If
stand up for Cameroon.
Stand up for Cameroon, you are right. If she said there should be no election, that's all right. That is it's democratic. And one thing we don't want to accept is the fact that in democracy, there is always majority and minority. And majority is taken care of as minority. So when you decide not to vote and somebody votes for you, election has taken place. If we had a total means of blocking the whole Anglophone zone, that there should be no election there, that would have been good. But now that I can see certain results coming from there, it means election took place there.
But not in all the constituencies. You may want to agree.
Well,
probably turnout was not as massive as expected.
That's what I'm saying, that minority has a right to a decision. So where the majority cannot take the decision, cannot come out and take the decision, what decision is taken by the minority is correct. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. Yes. Because you will not leave a national exercise like that not to be conducted. No, it has to be conducted. Because maybe 2 regions are against it. Yes, 2 regions are against it. We agree. But how has it come about that in those 2 regions, out of 1,000 people, we can have 100 who voted?
Committed people, probably.
Huh?
Committed people, probably.
What do you mean?
Committed people are committed in exercising their civic rights.
Oh, those who took the risk?
Yes.
Oh, what do you mean?
Yeah.
To go and vote. They are committed, yes. Therefore, those are true citizens. Those are true citizens.
Do you blame those who could not stand the guns, the sounds of the guns? And don't you think the election should be cancelled in those areas where the gunshots
It is left for the government to take that decision. Not a thing for you and I to be thinking about. If the government sees that, well, since this or that, the election should be cancelled, well, that's all right. But when the government says the law permits the rights of the minority to be protected, it permits the rights of the majority to be protected, decisions are taken. And we have nothing else to do. We can say any other thing. And I think the government of Cameroon and the laws of Cameroon will say, minority rights are protected. Minority rights are protected. Therefore, those who voted for all. That's all.
Professor Reverend von Tita Samuel, we are grateful to have had you on this edition of the program. we must remind our viewers that you came all the way from the nation's political capital for this interview. Thanks so much for accepting to be part of this edition of the program.
I am always at your disposal. Anytime you want me, call me up. I will just tell you what I have in my mind. I have nothing. I have no skeleton in my cupboard.
Thank you so much.
Throughout my life.
Thank you so much.
I have no skeleton in my cupboard. I say what I can say and do what I can do. What I know will please posterity, that I do. Not what I think will please mankind, but what can please posterity, that I do. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming, Prof.